Namaste to all. Welcome back to this session, Correlation Problems Part 5. In this session, you will be learning some advanced problems or miscellaneous problems on how to find out correlation coefficient using Carl Pearson's. Worked problem number 1. From the data given in the following table, find the correlation coefficient between series X and series Y. Observe the data. Here, you need not calculate any required information for substituting into the formula. Your job is to find out the suitable formula here and substitute the given values to find out correlation coefficient. ನೀವು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ ಆ ಮಾಹಿತಿಗೆ ತಕ್ಕನಾದಂತಹ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾವನ್ನು ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಹಾಕಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. Number of observations are given, series X and series Y, 16 and 16. These, if not given 16 and 16, if it is given in the middle as 16, you should assume that both X series and Y series are of same number of observations. Then arithmetic mean, that is X bar and Y bar, 26 and 17 are given. This is actual mean. Then standard deviation are given for both the series, 2.9047 and 2.937. That is standard deviation of X and standard deviation of Y is given. Sum of squares of deviation from mean is given, 135 and 138 respectively. Observe, sum of squares of deviations from mean. From mean means actual mean. From deviation from actual mean means, for example, series X, X minus X bar, which we were taking as small x. Go back to second session and third session, you will observe X minus X bar, small x, Y minus Y bar, small y. So that is given. Deviation from mean means X, small x and small y. Squares of deviation from mean means small x square and small y square. Sum of squares of deviation from mean means small x, summation of small x square, that is sigma x square. Summation of small y square, that is sigma y square, are given directly here. Next one, summation of product of deviation of X and Y series from their respective means. That is deviation of X and Y means small x and small y, X minus X bar and Y minus Y bar. Product means multiplication of both X into Y. Summation means summation of X into Y, that is sigma XY is 122. So in this case, you have to select the required formula and substitute the figures and find out the correlation coefficient. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಯಾವ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಸೂಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವಂತಹ ಜವಾಬ್ದಾರಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. You have to select the required formula. Let us work out this. First of all, write down what are all the given information in the problem. Solution given n 16. X bar, that is mean of X series 26, mean of Y series Y bar 17, standard deviation of X series 2.9047, standard deviation of Y series 2.937, sigma small x square, summation of small x square 135, summation of y square, small y square 138, then summation of small x into small y 122. Hope you understood the items here. Let us solve this by substituting them into suitable formula. Here the data given suits direct formula, actual mean method. Let us take the actual mean method formula. It is given as sigma xy, small xy divided by square root of sigma x square into sigma y square. Substitute the values here. We have sigma xy as 122, sigma x square as 135, sigma y square as 138. Substitute them into the formula, that is 122 divided by square root of 135 into 138. Simplify this. Then 122 divided by square root of 18,630. Square root 18,630, you will get 136.49. Therefore 122 divided by 136.49. Then divide 122 by 136.49, you will get the answer 0.8938. So there exists high degree positive correlation between series X and series Y. So we have standard deviation of X and standard deviation of Y. Alternatively, this problem can also be solved using the formula. I think you remember the formula using formula for calculating correlation coefficient using standard deviations. It is given as sigma xy divided by n into standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. Go back to your first session on correlation coefficient. You will observe this. This formula has been simplified into the direct formula sigma xy divided by sigma square root of sigma x square into sigma y square. Observe this. Remember. So another formula for calculating when standard deviations are given, we can use this type of formula. Now substitute the items. 122 divided by n means 16, standard deviation of x means 2.9047 into standard deviation of y means 2.937. Okay, multiply in the denominator and have the values. 122 divided by 136.497. So we will get the same answer 8938, 0.8938. So you may write the conclusion. There exists high degree positive correlation between series X and series Y. So ಈ ತರನೇ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ನೀವು ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಇಟ್ಟರು ಸಾಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎರಡೂ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಸ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ನಾನು ಎರಡೂ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ತೋರಿಸಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀಬಹುದು. ಎಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಹೀಗೆ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುವಂತಹ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನ ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾವನ್ನ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಓಕೆ, moving to next problem. Moving to next problem, working problem 2. From the following data, find correlation coefficient between series X and series Y. Given number of observations 12. Observe here. X series ಕೆಳಗಡೆ 12, Y series ಕೆಳಗಡೆ 12 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ. So both will have 12 pairs. Arithmetic mean of X 14.6, arithmetic mean of Y series 12.7. Sum of squares of deviation from mean 105.24, 89.42 respectively. Summation of product of deviations of X and Y series from their respective means minus 80.98. Observe this. So the solution is, first write down the given values. N equals to 12, X bar equals to 14.6, Y bar equals to 12.7, X sigma X square, small X square 105.24, summation of small y square 89.42, summation of XY, small x and small y minus 80.98. Now R equals to, suitable formula is this one only. We don't have standard deviations, therefore we cannot use other formula as we done in the previous slide. Okay, ಹಿಂದೆ ಮಾಡಿದ ಹಾಗೆ ಎರಡನೇ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿಲ್ಲ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಾಡಿ. ನೀವು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡಿಡಿದು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲ್ತಿರ್ತೀರಿ. ಅದನ್ನ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಈಕ್ವಲ್ಸ್ ಟು ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ರೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಗ್ಮಾ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಎನ್ ಅಂತ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಆ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಕೊಂಕಣ ಸುತ್ತಿ ಮೈಲಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಇಲ್ಲಾಂದ್ರೆ ಇದರ ಡೈರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾವನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ಸೊ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ದಿ ವ್ಯಾಲ್ಯೂಸ್. minus 80.98 is the value of sigma xy whole divided by square root of 105.24 into 89.42. Simplify this. Minus 80.98 divided by square root of 9410.5608. If fractions are there, adjust them, nothing to worry. You can take 56 itself, 9410.56 itself. Instead of writing 4 digits, you can restrict it to 2 digits only. Then we get 80.98 divided by 97. It will be 97 point something. I am restricting it to 97 because 97.00 something will be there. So I am taking only 97. Okay. Answer is minus 0.8348. You cannot forget writing minus sign. So be careful when minus values are given. minus 0.8348 is the answer. There exists high degree negative correlation between series X and Y is our conclusion. Okay. Okay. Those who are writing it slowly, you pause this video and write down. Okay. I am moving. Worked problem number 3. Observe here. Problem 1 item is special here. Variance is given 14 and 32. Using that variance, we have to calculate standard deviation. ವೇರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡರ್ಡ್ ಡಿವಿಯೇಷನ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಂತರ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇನ್ನೆರಡು ಐಟಮ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಯು ನೋ the other items. Number of observations means n. Summation of product of deviation of x and y series from their respective means summation of small x into small y. Let us write the given item. Given n equals to 18. Summation of small x and small y is 296. Standard deviation of x. If variance is given, if we square root it, we get standard deviation. Therefore, standard deviation of x equals to square root of variance of x equals to square root of 14. So that will give you 3.742. Similarly, standard deviation of y, square root of variance of y equals to square root of 32 equals to 5.657. Now, we have to apply here standard deviation formula for calculating correlation coefficient, that is sigma summation of small x into small y divided by n into standard deviation of x into standard deviation of y. This formula suits here. Okay, so substitute the values. 296 divided by 18, number of items is 18, into 3 standard deviation of x 3.742 into standard deviation of y 5.657. So simplify this, we get the answer 0.7768. There exists again high degree positive correlation. You can write that. Next problem, problem number 4. Again same thing. Number of observations, standard deviation, direct this thing. You know how to solve this. Given n equals to 14 number of items. Standard deviation of x directly given 5.52, standard deviation of y 4.05 directly given, summation of small x into small y 80. So substitute the values into the formula, you will get the answer 0.2556, low degree. Worked problem 5. So this problem requires some knowledge, general knowledge or logical reasoning power to solve this. So it is some for your level it is advanced problem. The following are the monthly figures of advertising expenditure and sales of a firm. It is generally found that advertising expenditure has its impact on sales after 2 months. Allowing for this time gap, calculate coefficient of correlation. So here advertisement expenditure spent in January will have its impact on sales of March. Advertisement expenditure spent in February will have impact on sales of April. Therefore, we have to take into consideration advertising expenditure of January, February, etc. up to October and sales figures from March to December. Okay, then we have to compute coefficient of correlation. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜನವರಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಖರ್ಚು ಮಾಡಿದಂತ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಜನವರಿಯ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ಗೂ ಮಾರ್ಚ್ನ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಾವು ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಮನ್ ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಹಾಗೆ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ಗೂ ಏಪ್ರಿಲ್ ನ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ಗೂ ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಹಾಕೋಬೇಕು. ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ನ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ 70ಕ್ಕೂ ಮೇಯ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ 220ಕ್ಕೂ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನವೆಂಬರ್ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ಅಡ್ವರ್ಟೈಸಿಂಗ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಚರ್ ಅನ್ನ ನಾವು ಗಣನೆಗೆ ತಗೋಬಾರ್ದು. ಅದರ ಇಂಪ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ಜನವರಿ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಫೆಬ್ರವರಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಆ ಡೇಟಾ ನಮ್ಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸೇಲ್ಸ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಮಾರ್ಚ್ ಇಂದ ಡಿಸೆಂಬರ್ ವರೆಗೂ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. Okay, so it is given here. You read this. You can understand. Okay, solution is given here. You know how to solve this. So I am taking here the change of origin and scale method for simplifying the solution. Observe the solution. So I have taken advertising expenditure as X, sales as Y. Advertising expenditure from January to October has been taken. Sales from March to December has been taken, leaving that 2-month gap. Okay. So after knowing X variable and Y variable, I think you know how to solve this. I have used direct method, actual mean method to solve this formal problem. You can use assumed mean method if you are interested. If you are familiar and you find assumed mean method very simple, you can use that one also. Need not use direct method here. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದು ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಆ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಅನ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೋಬಹುದು. ವರ್ಕೌಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ. I think I hope you will work out this problem on your own. So answer is given 0.91815 and there is high degree positive correlation between advertising expenditure and sales data. Okay, I am moving. You pause this and write down if you are writing down, or you take down X variable and Y variable and work out on your own. X variable ಮತ್ತೆ Y variable ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Practice on yourself. Don't copy. Okay. Worked problem number 6. Here, following table gives the distribution of density of population and death rates. Find out if there is any relationship between density of population and death rates. So here we are asked to calculate correlation coefficient between density of population and death rate. So district are given, 5 districts, kilometers are given 120, 150, 80, 50 and 200 kilometers. Population in that areas are given 24,000, 75,000, 48,000, 40,000, 50,000, out of which during a year deaths, number of deaths I think 288, 1,125, 768, 720, 650 are given. We have to compute the correlation coefficient between density of population and death rate. So before that we have to calculate some items. Density of population and death rates we have to calculate as working. Let us do it. Density of population is given as population divided by area in kilometers. If kilometers are given, you can take area in kilometers. If miles are given, you can take miles. So whatever it is given, population divided by area has to be taken to find out density of population. ಜನಸಾಂದ್ರತೆ ಅಂತ ಕರೀತಾರೆ. 1 ಕಿಲೋಮೀಟರ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ವಾಸವಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಡೆನ್ಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಪಾಪ್ಯುಲೇಷನ್. How many people are residing in that area per square kilometer is called as density of population. Let us calculate for all the regions or district. A, 24,000 is total population and kilometers is 120, it gives you 200. Then B, 75,000 population divided by 150 kilometers equals to 500. C, district C, 48,000 population divided by 80 kilometers equals to 600. D, 40,000 population divided by 50 kilometers, 800. E, 50,000 population divided by 200 kilometers equals to 250. Okay, like this you have to work out. Next, death rate you have to calculate. Normally death rate and birth rate will be computed for 1000. You cannot take 100 here because population data will always be represented in thousands per 1000. Therefore death rate formula is number of deaths divided by total population into 1000. Let us work out for all the district. District A, 288 divided by 24,000 into 1000 equals to 12. B, 1,125 divided by 75,000 into 1,000 equals to 15. District C, 768 deaths divided by 48,000 into 1,000 equals to 16. D, 720 divided by 40,000 into 1,000 equals to 18. Then 650 divided by 50,000 into 1,000 equals to 13. 13. Okay, we have worked out the required information. Let us take density of population as X and death rate as Y. Okay, computation of Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. I have taken X as density of population, Y for death rate. Okay, I have again simplified X variable by using change of origin and scale formula, taking 500 as assumed mean. I am using indirect method for this assumed mean method or shortcut method to solve this problem. You can work out this problem on actual mean method also. Okay, your wish. Okay, assumed mean for X series 500, and for the sake of change of origin, I have taken 100 as common factor. So I got this table like this. Okay, using indirect method formula and substituting all the things, we get answer as 0.9964. So there exists high degree positive correlation between density of population and death rate. You know how to solve this. If data is given, X variable and Y variable are given, you know how to solve this because we discussed a lot on solution in previous sessions. Observe the previous videos, you will know how to solve this. Either on direct method, that is actual mean method, or indirect method, that is assumed mean method. You can opt your own method to solve this problem. I think I hope you will solve this on your own. Answer is given. Okay, next worked problem number 7. Calculate Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient between average profits and average advertisement expenditure per shop. So number of shops are given, total profits are given, and total advertisement expenditures are given. So we are asked to calculate coefficient of correlation between average profits per shop and average advertisement expenditure per shop. So it requires some calculations. Let us work out them. Average profit per shop equals to total profits divided by number of shops. Okay, I think you got this. We are asked to calculate average profits per shop and average advertisement expenditure per shop. Therefore, average profits per shop has to be calculated using the given information, total profits divided by number of shops. Let us work out for all the 5 data series. So 6,000 divided by 10, total profit for the first item, 6,000 divided by number of shops 10 equals to 600. Second item, 4,000 divided by 20 equals to 200. 9,000 divided by 30 equals to 300. Fourth item, 1,500 divided by 15 equals to 100. Fifth item, 600 divided by 5 equals to 120 is the average profit per shop. Similarly, find out average advertisement expenditure per shop using the similar formula. Average advertisement expenditure per shop equals to total advertising expenditure divided by number of shops. Okay, so 1000 divided by, first case, 1000 divided by 10 equals to 100. Similarly, 3000 divided by 20 equals to 150. 6600 divided by 30 equals to 220. Then 750 divided by 15 equals to 50. 400 divided by 5 equals to 80. Now you have to correlate between average profits and average advertisement expenditure. That is 600, 200, 300, 100, 120 has to be taken as X, or you can take it as Y also. 100, 150, 220, 50, 80 has to be taken as Y. If average profits have been taken as X, you have to take this as Y. If average profits are taken as Y, you can take average advertisement expense as X. Okay, so taking average profits per shop as X and average advertising expenses per shop as Y, we can work out the correlation coefficient. So again, I have used change of origin and scale formula method here to solve this. You can use direct method as you wish. So I have worked out, answer is 0.2245. Those who are slow, pause this video and write down. So there exists low degree positive correlation between average profits and advertisement expenditure per shop. Okay, ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ನಾನು ಎಕ್ಸ್ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ವೈ ವೇರಿಯಬಲ್ ಹ್ಯಾಕ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಮುಂದಿಂದು ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಒಂದು ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಫಾರ್ ಯುವರ್ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಸೇಕ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗಿವಿಂಗ್ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಹಿಯರ್. I think you can work out the problem on your own because you have already worked out so many problems on calculation of correlation coefficient when pure data is given. Next problem, worked problem number 8. From the following data, calculate Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient between percentage of pass and percentage of failure. Okay, total number of students are given 800, 600, 700, 500 and 400. Number of students passed information is given 480, 420, 560, 450 and 300. Now we are asked to calculate correlation coefficient between percentage of pass and percentage of failure. Okay, solution. Let us compute percentage pass, which is given as number of students passed divided by total number of students into 100. So first case 480 passed divided by out of 800 equals to 60%. Then 420 divided by 600 into 100 70%. 560 divided by 700 equals to 80%. 450 divided by 500 equals to 90%. 300 divided by 400 equals to 75%. Okay, so if it is the passing percentage, then failure percentage is 100 minus 60. 100ಕ್ಕೆ 60 ಜನ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮಿಕ್ಕಂತ 40 ಜನ ಫೇಲ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಅರ್ಥ. ಸೊ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ 100 60 members passed means 40 members failed. Therefore percentage of failure is given as 100 minus pass percentage. So in the first case 100 minus 60 equals to 40. Second case 100 minus 70 equals to 30. Third case 100 minus 80 equals to 20. 100 minus 90 equals to 10. 100 minus 75 equals to 25. Let us take percentage pass as X and percentage failure as Y. I think you can solve this. 60, 70, 80, 90, 75 has to be taken as X. 40, 30, 20, 10 and 25 has to be taken as Y to be taken into the table to calculate correlation coefficient. Okay. Taking percentage of pass as X and percentage of fail as Y, work out the prepare a table for finding out the information required to be substituted into the formula. Okay, I have used direct method, actual mean method for this. So given information says -1 as correlation coefficient. Okay, you work out this. So there exists a perfect negative correlation, -1. Perfect negative correlation between pass percentage and failure percentage. If you take pass percentage and failure percentage for any data, it will be -1 only. So ಯಾವುದೇ ಡೇಟಾ ತಗೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಇಲ್ಲ 5 ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಅನ್ನ 5 ಅಂಶಗಳನ್ನ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ, 5 ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ. ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ 10 ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಂಡಿಡೀರಿ, ಅಲ್ಲೂ ಸಹ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ -1 ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಪಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೋ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಿಲೋಮವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಪಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಏರ್ತಿದ್ರೆ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಳಿತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಪಾಸ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಇಳಿತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ಫೇಲ್ಯೂರ್ ಪರ್ಸೆಂಟೇಜ್ ಏರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ನೆಗೆಟಿವ್ ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್, 1 ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿ ಸೇಕ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೈಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಔಟ್ ಪರ್ಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, practice yourself. You observe the problems here, answers are given below them. Practice them on your own. I don't want to explain each problem here. Already these problems have been explained. Similar problems are given here which have already been explained. You observe them and substitute the values as required. Practice and get the answers given here. Okay, similarly third and fourth problems are there. Pause this video and write down and work out, practice. Next, from the following data of 6 cities, calculate coefficient of correlation between density of population and death rate. Already calculated, one problem has been done. You observe that and change the figures and calculate. Okay, calculate Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient using 20 as assumed mean for price and 70 as assumed mean for demand. Also calculate probable error. In this case, in the problem itself, they are given, you have to take 20 as assumed mean for the first series and 70 as assumed mean for second series. ನಿಮಗೆ ಈ ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ನೀವು 20 ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. 20 ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೈಸ್ ಗೆ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ ಆಗಿ, ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಕೇಸಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಮ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಗೆ 70 ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ನೀವು ಸಾಲ್ವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಈ ತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಾಗ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಈ ತರ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ಸ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಕಸ್ಮಾತ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ವರ್ಕ್ಔಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆನ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್ ಮೀನ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ 20 as assumed mean for x and 70 as assumed mean for y series, taking price as x and demand as y series. Okay, I hope you will do that and will get the answer minus 95423. So next, theoretical aspect, assumptions of Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So Pearson's correlation coefficient is based on the following assumptions. One is normal distribution. So Pearson has given the formula thinking the distributions given, data given are normal in its distribution. What is normal distribution? It is advanced thing. We assume there is bell-shaped distribution in the given data. So if that bell-shaped data is there, Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation can be used easily. So each of the variable is being affected by large number of independent causes so as to produce a normal distribution is one assumption. Next is the relationship is linear. So non-linear relationship irodilla anteli. That means when we plot the variables on a graph, we get a straight line. So on this assumption, Karl Pearson has given the formula. Next one is related in a causal fashion. Cause and effect relationship irutte ankondu ee ಒಂದು ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಏನು ಕಾರಣ ಮತ್ತು ಪ್ರತಿಕ್ರಿಯೆ, ಕಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್, ಕಾರಣ ಮತ್ತು ಅದರ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರಭಾವ ಇವುಗಳು ಇರ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀಡಲಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇರ್ ಈಸ್ ಎ ಕಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ದ ಫೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಅಫೆಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಡಿಸ್ಟ್ರಿಬ್ಯೂಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಐಟಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಟೂ ಸೀರೀಸ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿರ್ತೀವಿ. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಆಗಿರ್ತವೆ ಅಂತ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ. ಇಫ್ ನಾಟ್ illogical correlation ಅಂತ ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಥಿಯರಿಟಿಕಲ್ ಆಸ್ಪೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ. ಲೈಕ್ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, that heights correlation between heights and income of some persons, size of shoes and intelligence. ಉದ್ದಕ್ಕಿರೋರ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಮೋಟಕ್ಕಿರೋರ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಆ ತರದ್ದು ಏನಾದ್ರು ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಅದರಿಂದಾಗಿ ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ದೋ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದಿ heights of individuals and income of such individuals and quantitatively we can calculate correlation coefficient. ನಮಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, heights of persons ನ ನಾವು ಡೇಟಾ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಅವ್ರ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ನ ಡೇಟಾವನ್ನ ಕಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೇಟಿವ್ ಡೇಟಾ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಆ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್ ನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾವು ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬಹುದು. ಬಟ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ದ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಈಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಾಜಿಕಲ್. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ಒಂದು ಲಾಜಿಕ್ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೈಟು ಮತ್ತು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ಗೆ ಅಥವಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಹಾಗೆ ಶೂಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್, ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೂಸ್, ಉದ್ದದ ಶೂಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರೋರು ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆಂಟು, 5 ಇಂಚ್ ಅಥವಾ 6 ಇಂಚ್ ಶೂಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡಿರೋರು ದಡ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಕ್ ಬರುತ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ಗೂ ಶೂಸ್ಗೂ ಸಂಬಂಧವೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆದ್ರೂ ಸಹ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ಶೂಸ್ ನಂಬರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ, ಇಂಟೆಲಿಜೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೋಶನ್ಸ್ IQ ಅಂತ ಏನ್ ಕರಿತೀವಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಮಗೆ ನಂಬರ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅವೆರಡನ್ನೂ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಬಹುದು, ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ ಕಾರ್ರಿಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಟಿಸ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್. ಇಫ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ numbers we can calculate correlation coefficient, but where is the logic behind size of shoes and intelligence? So such cause and effect relationship is not there here. ಸೊ ಅಂತ ಕೇಸ್ಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಒಂದು ಕಾಸಲ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನು ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿಯಬಹುದು ಅಂತ ಕಾರ್ಲ್ ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು ಏನು ಇಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ಆದ್ರೆ ರಿಗ್ರೆಷನ್ ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಮಗೆ ಕಾಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ನಮಗೆ ಆ ಒಂದು ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಅನ್ನು ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್, ಕಾರ್ಲ್ ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ ಅಸ್ಯೂಮ್ಡ್ ದೇರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಸ್ಟ್ ಕಾಸಲ್ ರಿಲೇಶನ್ಶಿಪ್ ಬಿಟ್ವೀನ್ ಗಿವನ್ ವೇರಿಯೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾವನ್ನ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. ಓಕೆ, ಮೆರಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾರ್ಲ್ ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್. ಸೊ ಪಿಯರ್ಸನ್ಸ್ ಕಾರ್ಲೇಷನ್ ಕೋಎಫಿಷಿಯಂಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸ್ಡ್ ಆನ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಬ್ಸರ್ವೇಷನ್ಸ್. ಇದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಗಮನಿಸಿರ್ತೀರಿ, ಹಿಂದಿನ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಮೀಡಿಯನ್ is not based on all observations, mode not based on all observations. There are some other coefficients which are not based on all observations, like coefficient of range is not based on all observations. Similarly, but here Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation is based on all observations. Next merit is more popular and practical method than other methods of calculating correlation coefficient. There are other methods, concurrent deviation method, scatter diagram method, Spearman's correlation coefficient, etc. But correlation coefficient as given by Karl Pearson has been used popularly and practically for calculating correlation coefficient. Okay, third one, this method measures both degree and direction of the correlation between the variables. This has been explained in theory aspect in the beginning itself. Next is it facilitates comparison. We can compare two pairs of data. Okay, next it is amenable to further algebraic treatment. It will be used for calculating other data like regression analysis and other related items. And in advanced statistics, it will be used in making inferences about the data using under hypothesis testing, etc. ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ವಾನ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಆಗಿ ನೀವು ಓದ್ತೀರಿ. ಈಗ ಸದ್ಯಕ್ಕೆ ಇದನ್ನ ಅಮಿನಬಲ್ ಟು ಫರ್ದರ್ ಆಲ್ಜಿಬ್ರಾಯಿಕ್ ಟ್ರೀಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ we can use it for further statistical calculations. Next, demerits of Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. It is based on the assumption that there is linear relationship, but in practice we cannot find linear relationship in real world. Okay, next is this method is comparatively more time consuming. So obviously it has to consume more time because it requires more calculations. Comparatively it requires more time. So to have a very good measure of correlation, we have to spend some time. But in recent times there are more apps, like in correlation coefficient can be computed in Excel sheet also. So in data analysis we can simply put the data and opt for data analysis and select correlation. We can easily compute correlation coefficient. So nowadays it is not time consuming process to compute Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. Next is it is affected by extreme values. Obviously if data is given like 20, 30, 40 like that, and one item is 120 or 500, the 500 is extreme item. So this 500 may impact on the correlation coefficient. Okay, so we reached end of Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. We worked out so many problems on Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient method. If you find other problems, you try to work out them. Please refer books and question papers, then practice on your own. You will get confidence on how to solve, how to find out correlation coefficient using Karl Pearson's method. Okay, next session we will be learning about Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Thank you. And if you are satisfied with this discussions, all these discussions, we have 6 to 7 slides, 6 to 7 videos. If you are satisfied with that discussion or learning process, subscribe my channel. Okay, it is a request. Thank you.